There are a lot of podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps, Predictions, Sports. Let go, show recaps, predictions, sports.
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps, Predictions, Sports. Let go.
What's going on, everybody? It's EVP from the EVP Show. We're live for your Nxt Heatwave recap show. Boy, a lot of people are eating a lot of crow. After I posted Monday, all of the winners of the championship matches. I don't know what else to say. Maybe you guys should start listening. I'm waiting for all the we knew we had Grayson winning 2 weeks ago. No, we didn't. Just stop it. Time to give the flowers where they deserve. So there it is, 3 out of 3. The only ones I actually posted was Grayson, Zaria, and Alani winning tonight. So good PLE. A lot of title changes. Obviously, it's up against it was up against AEW. So I still don't really understand why WWE would do that, but that's what it is. Let's see. I did this early. I was going to do this at 8:30, but I have a fantasy football draft in like 2 hours. So we're going to go ahead and get this done. I'm just waiting for a few more people to hop in. Oh, man. It's going to be a long day. I got a fantasy football draft, and I got to catch on Big Brother tonight. So I did put a poll out on Twitter, X, whatever you guys want to call it, of what I'll be doing moving forward when Big Brother's over. So it's going to be Survivor, Survivor 51. I'm not quite sure I'm going to go into it yet because it actually starts the 23rd of September, and Big Brother doesn't end until October the 1st. So I don't know. I'll figure something out. Still got 3 weeks or so before it starts. I may have to just do a couple episodes at one time, something like that, to catch up. We'll see. But we've already been working on something for Survivor. So Survivor 51 will be next up after Big Brother. It just sucks that it's not ending the same week as Big Brother's starting, but it's only 8 days 8 days earlier. So like truly I'll only miss a week. Which I could probably just do 2 episodes at one time. So it should be good. What's up, Kyle? I mean, Kendall and Kalani was definitely the best match of the night. I mean, all the matches were pretty good. I thought the whole card was pretty good start to finish. A couple of them were, truly a few of them were like not as predictable as I expected. The only one that I did my predictions, so outside of sources and stuff like that. The only one I lost was Miles Bourne dropping to Jackson Drake. I didn't think he was going to lose both titles, but fortunately he did. But at least he gets to go home to Stephanie, so definitely a win-win for Miles. And then he turned heel, which I was kind of expecting it to go the other way. But Miles has got that Randy Orton look, so maybe he'll be able to pull out this heel character. But yeah, I think the whole world is shocked about Grayson Waller, but not me. Still is just not going to be around very long. He's going to be coming up for the War Games and stuff. So, I mean, they could have put the title on him for sure, but I think more people would have been mad when they take it off of him in like a month or so. So, I did not see Miles' turn. I definitely thought it was going to be the other way around, but I'm actually for it. I think a Miles term is definitely more impactful than Tavion Pike, obviously because of Miles born. So yeah, it was a good show. Definitely a good show. I want to shout out everybody on the YouTube. You guys have been killing it. Before we get started, over 150 views on SmackDown on a tape show. That's just crazy. I definitely didn't expect that. I think I got like 15 views the last SmackDown that was live, and I think that was the one where Punk fought KO. So to get 150 views on a tape show, it's crazy. Big Brother, obviously, over 100 views for the first time in 7 recap shows. So thank you guys for that. It's hard to maintain that number every single time, but we're gonna do the best that we can do to keep those numbers up. Trying to give it a couple more minutes for some people to come in. We got around 50 right now. I have retweeted it. Kyle, you thought Kalani and Kendall was the best match. I for a little bit I thought maybe they were gonna go ahead and do the Ren Sinclair turn, but maybe that's coming later on. After I believe Kendall wins the belt back at Halloween Havoc. That was announced. That's one thing that I do love about NXT is they don't slam PLEs on top of each other. So we don't have another NXT PLE until Halloween. So that's like a full 2 months. So that's one thing I do love about NXT. WWE, the main roster, they want to have a PLE. You know, we have one coming up Sunday night main event. Then we have Money in the Bank. We have 2 in November with Crown Jewel and Survivor Series. Or wait. And then we have WrestlePalooza in December in Australia, which kind of makes sense if they think Rhea's going to be back in time for that. It was in Perth. So I did report about a month ago that WrestlePalooza is supposed, like, I was surprised it didn't get announced earlier. Definitely was surprised a little bit off on that. WrestlePalooza is a yearly thing for WWE, so they're holding it off into December. I guess maybe in hopes that Rhea's back, because it's in Australia. So I don't have any word on whether she'll be back by then. I know she's a little bit ahead of the process on the recovery, so I would expect nothing less for her to be back or do everything in her power to be back for WrestlePalooza, especially in her home country. So I believe that. I don't think that's 100% the reason why they moved WrestlePalooza to December, but I mean, I think it also probably does have a lot to do with it as well. You also got Bronson Reed. I mean, they may do Grayson Waller. Grayson Waller may wrestle over there. He's from Australia. He's NXT champion. I like the decision to put the title on him. I mean, he was never gonna really do anything on the main roster, so you know he come down to NXT and made an immediate impact. So and there's a lot of people that he could still feud with. You still got Tony D. Still got Cruz Montana. I guess they can still do something with him and Zilla, but I just don't see Zilla winning the title. I mean, I think he's on the main roster before November for sure. So Carmen staying with our faction on AAA is okay, I guess, but I want her on NXT every week. Yeah, I was gonna talk about that. Very odd how they did that match. Obviously, I knew Jada was winning. This was a rubber match, but having Carmen leave Natty I don't know if that furthers the storyline with Natty and Carmen. I don't know. She did leave and go back with her faction from AAA. I'm gonna be honest with you, Kyle. Like I love Carmen, but um, she's doing way more over in AAA. So looks like that's what they're gonna do. Let's take you guys on check on something really quick. All right, so we got 95 in here. Like I said, I do apologize. I had to start early, but I did want to get in here and make the announcement. I just texted Miami earlier. I was kind of up in the air on what I was going to do once Big Brother ended, but what I'll probably do is when Big Brother ends, or I may just start Survivor before Big Brother ends. Survivor's on a Wednesday, so I could possibly just do it when me and Kyle are done. We'll see. It starts on September 23rd, which, wait, let me see. I'll tell you exactly when I start. I don't think that's Survivor 51 start date. Wednesday, September 23rd at 8 p.m. Eastern. So what I probably will do is on the 24th, I'll probably do either a double. I'll probably do like a double episode of Big Brother and Survivor that night. That way I don't fall a week behind. So on Thursday the 24th, that'll be almost to the end of Big Brother. So I'll just do, because Survivor's got a 2-hour special episode on the 23rd. It's the open air season 51. So that's probably what I'll do. It'll be a longer show, but that's really the only way that I can do it because I don't want to fall behind on it and have to like do like 2 or 3 shows at one time. So that's how I'll do it. Once Survivor starts, it'll just be 2 episodes. I'll just be covering Survivor and Big Brother at the same time. Once Big Brother ends, then we'll just go full Survivor. Let's have to do it that way. At least Carmen and Kalani have great characters this year. Yeah, they have done a lot with Carmen's character. Kalani, she during the match they kind of made it a little obvious she was winning by saying the first time she got a shot at the North American Championship she won. First time she got a shot at the TNA Women's Knockout Championship she won, and obviously tonight. I think, like I said, a lot of this is just having to do with Kendall here. Maybe there really is a little. Maybe she is a little hurt. But I fully expect Kendall to get that title back at Halloween Havoc, and plus that gives Kalani a 2-month title reign. So it's not like she's gonna drop the title next week or something like that. I think Kalani probably drops the title back to Kendall at Halloween Havoc. And at that point, maybe it's time to start having a conversation about Kalani going up because she's kind of accomplished everything that she can accomplish on NXT. So, but happy for her. She gets her first NXT Women's Championship. I'm really happy for Grayson. I think a lot of people were expecting Zilla to win, obviously because he's in the bloodline. But that just wasn't in the plan. He came to NXT to bring up the views, basically. He's going to be on the main roster. So Grayson Waller's never doing anything on the main roster, so it was 100% the right call. All right, let's get into it. Like I said, I have a fantasy draft in an hour and a half. We'll try to make this show around an hour, hour 10, hour 15. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. If you guys have any comments, make sure to put them in the comment section. Also, one last announcement. Sunday, September 13th is my birthday. That will be the next time I do Sunday Night Scoop, because next Sunday I'll be covering Sunday Night Main Event. Recap for that. Sunday after that is my birthday. It's going to be a little bit formatted a little bit differently. Obviously, I'll still put out some news, but I want everybody to come in. I know a lot of people don't like spoilers and stuff like that, but it's going to be more of like a birthday celebration than anything else. So, yeah. Let's see you guys on the 13th. So let's get started. So WWE NXT Heatwave is live from, and also I watched it on ESPN Unlimited. I was telling Kyle about that. Like, you don't necessarily have to have the CW app anymore, because NXT PLE, you can watch them the same way that you watch WWE PLE. So on the ESPN Unlimited app, or if you have the bundle or whatever. So NXT Heatwave took place live from Bert Ogden Arena in Edinburgh, however they pronounce it, Texas. I don't know where that's at. I don't know if I've ever been there. I don't think so. 6 matches announced, a championship up for grabs. Tony D in the main event will put the NXT Championship on the line in a fatal 4-way match against Grayson Waller, Cruz Montana, and Zilla Batu. The match came together after Batu crashed Waller and Montana in a more contenders match before signing his NXT contract and immediately entering the title picture in his first match on NXT. The WWE Women's NXT champion, Kendall Gray, she's been champion since she defeated Laura White a few months back, will defend the NXT Women's Championship against Kalani Jordan, one title that has eluded her on the NXT roster. Kalani has gone frustrated after feeling overlooked for months, eventually forcing her way into. So they said during the show that she's had 9 number 1 contender matches, and she's lost every single one of them. So that's a lot. Kendall Gray, who enters Heatwave at less than 100%. Miles Bourne, don't know him, might want to get to know him. Big star coming in the making. 2 matches tonight. Pulling a doubleheader. He's going to first defend the NXT North American Championship against Jackson Drake of Vanity Project, who held the WWE Evolve Championship for 300 plus days. Or also teaming with Tavion Heights to defend their NXT Tag Team Championships against Vanity Project, Brad Baylor, and Ricky Smoke. And then a unification match, which me and Kyle have talked about in length the last few weeks on Queens of WWE. And when Kyle asked me about it, I specifically said NXT and WWE are having Zarya follow exactly in Sol Ruka's footsteps. The last person to win the NXT North American Championship and Speed Championship was Sol Ruka. So this was a no-brainer for me. A little too soon for Callie. She's great, but she's nowhere near going up to the main roster. So she's gonna win. She's definitely gonna win some titles, but it's just too soon. But Zarya, the Speed champion, Ren Sinclair, the Women's North American champion, Zarya, Kelly Armstrong will also collide in a winner-takes-all match involving the NXT Women's North American Championship and the WWE Women's NXT Speed Championship. And then Jada Parker and Natty will round out the card with a submission match. So this show started early. Obviously, they were up against AEW. So on commentary, we have Vic Joseph and the Hall of Famer Booker T. They welcome us to the show, run down the card, which I just run down the card for you. So let's get started. The first matchup of the night is the North American, the WWE NXT Women's North American North American Championship and the WWE Women's Speed unification match. Both titles are going to be unified. Ren Sinclair, the Speed Champion, versus Zarya, the NXT North American Championship, versus Callie Armstrong. So, the WWE NXT Women's North American Champion, Zarya, entered first, followed by WWE Women's Speed Champion, Ren Sinclair, and Callie Armstrong was the last one to come out. So as all three women get into the ring, all three women just completely started to go at it as soon as the bell rang. Zarya took control early, with running big boots to both opponents. Callie Armstrong and Zarya sent Ren Sinclair outside before Callie Armstrong dropped Zarya with a series of punches. Callie Armstrong then attacked Ren Sinclair as she tried to get back in the ring and sent Zarya outside. Callie went for a dive, but Ren Sinclair grabbed her feet. They brawled around ringside until Callie Armstrong ran into the steel steps after Ren Sinclair moved out of the way. So then Zarya hung Ren Sinclair across the second rope before Callie Armstrong put a sleeper on her from the top turnbuckle. The move broke down and Ren Sinclair hit a superplex. Look, I don't know what just happened. I didn't mean to start that. Sorry about that, guys. I hit the wrong button. So the move broke down and Ren Sinclair superplex walked into a spine buster from Callie Armstrong. Big Red Mama Zarya. Kingpin, I told him all. You saw it, you're in the news channel. 3 for 3. I hit the home. I almost hit for the cycle tonight. So Zarya, Grayson Waller, and Kalani Jordan in the news channel on August the 25th, which was Tuesday. Hit that big triple, 3 for 3. So, Ren hit a superplex and walked into a spine buster from Callie. Ren Sinclair then fired off strikes and hit a double cross body from the top rope, but could not get a pinfall. She went for 2. She went for the pin, but she only got 2. Zarya took back control, but Ren Sinclair countered a shoulder carry into a sleeper. Zarya then cannonballed Callie Armstrong with Ren Sinclair still on her back. After more back and forth action, Callie Armstrong hit Ren Sinclair with the Callie connection, her finisher, and power slam Zarya. At this point, I'm like, holy shit, Callie's about to win. Then Ren Sinclair later locked Zarya into the final wrench. Her finishing submission move, Callie Armstrong pulled her outside and power slammed her. And then when Callie Armstrong made her way back into the ring, Zarya then speared Callie Armstrong and then followed it up with an F5 for the 1, 2, 3. So the winner of the unification match and still your women's North American champion and your new women's NXT Speed champion. I don't know how they're going to do this. Maybe they combine them into one title. That's what unify means. But Zarya is the next person after Sol Ruka to be able to say that they won the women's NXT North American Championship and also the Speed Championship. Definitely a great match. It seemed like Ren Sinclair kind of stuck out like a sore thumb to me. Zarya and Callie were definitely the standouts. I love Ren, but I feel like she was kind of overmatched and overpowered in this match. I don't know what's next for Ren. I really don't. I mean, she's definitely not ready for the main roster. So I bet we probably gonna see something with her and Kendall on down the line. Ren's very charismatic. She is good in the ring, but against these two, she was completely overpowered. So Zarya picked up the win by defeating. She got the pinfall, and I did tell you guys on a prediction show. I think I went 5-1 on a prediction show as well. I didn't change any of my picks, but Callie pinned Zarya Tuesday. It wasn't happening back to back in 5 days. They're pushing Zarya way too hard for that. So Zarya picks up the win by hitting the F5 and getting the pinfall on Callie Armstrong. Sorry about your luck. Maybe next time, but Zarya picks up the win and is your new NXT, retains the NXT North American Championship and also your new women's NXT Speed Champion, the Unified Champion. So both belts maybe just going to be combined. So we move on to match number 2. And it's going to be for the men's NXT Tag Team Championships. Another great match. I don't think there was a bad match on the card. 6 matches. I think the Natty Jada Parker match was good, but a little confused about the whole Carmen stuff. But we'll talk about it when we get there. So Miles and Tavion will be defending against Brad Baylor and Ricky Smoke, Vanity Project. So Tavion and Miles just won the tag team championships a few weeks ago from Vanity Project. So I was fully expecting them to drop. I thought Miles may hold on to the North American Championship. I was a little surprised on that. That was the only match I lost. But clean sweep on the rest of them. But this was a good match. So Vanity Project always accompanied out there by Mika Lockwood, who she's absolute powerhouse. And then Jackson Drake's usually out there as well. Rena Vulcan may be the one to take the North American Championship from Zarya at Halloween Havoc. I told you I want Zarya and Rena in a feud. Yeah, I mean, we talked about that when one of us brought up where's Rena Vulcan. I mean, she's got to be up next in line for Zarya. I mean, truly, I don't know though because she's a heel. They're both kind of heels, so we'll see where they go. Rena hasn't even been on TV, but that's definitely a direction I hope they go. Because at this point now they have the North American Championship, the Speed Championship, and the Women's NXT Championship all on heels. So it'll be interesting to see where they move forward, going towards Halloween Havoc in October. But yeah, Zarya and Rena Vulcan will be a great feud. So let's get to the Tag Team Championship match. So Vanity Project received their NXT Tag Team title rematch against Miles and Tavion. Because Jackson Drake defeated Shiloh Hill. Jackson Drake will also get a feature shot at Miles Bourne North American title tonight. So Miles Bourne and Brad Baylor started the match before Ricky Smoke and Tavion Heights entered. Vanity Project took control by isolating Miles Bourne and working over his back. Miles Bourne fought through it and finally tagged in Tavion Heights. Tavion Heights threw both opponents around with suplexes and slams. He had Brad Baylor in the ankle lock, but Mika Lockwood, and she is a huge accomplishment and distraction for the Vanity Project, who WWE NXT must really be super high on. She distracted. She had a distraction at ringside, and Ricky Smoke attacked his leg. Miles Bourne got back into the match and helped Tavion Heights hit stereo belly-to-belly suplexes. Tavion Heights set Brad Baylor up for a powerbomb, and Miles Bourne added a drop kick. Finish came after Brad Baylor shoved Miles Bourne into Tavion Heights, knocking Tavion Heights off of the apron. Brad Baylor and Ricky Smoke then hit their double team move on Miles Bourne for the 1, 2, 3. So the winner and your new WWE NXT Tag Team Champions. Again, after just dropping the titles a couple of weeks ago, is Brad Baylor and Ricky Smoke from Vanity Projects. And Miles Bourne is now down one title. Let me see if I got it. Just 1 second. Sorry about that. Keep clicking out of my note. Yeah, so Brad Baylor, Ricky Smoke are your new NXT Tag Team Champion. So Miles Bourne, is he gonna leave Texas with just one title? So we'll see. Got 6 matches to go through. Still got plenty of time. Only got an hour and 15 minutes until the draft. So we have plenty of time. So the Vanity Project are once again your NXT, and this was definitely a devastating loss for Tavion Height. He's been waiting on getting some sort of title in NXT, and him and Miles Bourne had a very short reign. And then obviously we saw what happened after the match with Miles and Jackson Drake. So definitely a feud moving forward with Miles Bourne. And Tavion, I thought was going to be the other way around, but I love what they do with Miles, truthfully. So let's go to the third match of the night. A lot of story here. They've been telling this story for a while. Natty, definitely, she handpicked Jada Parker. She talked about it on Busted Up Radio. She just sees something in Jada Parker. She knows what Jada Parker is capable of when she gets onto the main roster. So she knows she's a star. And at the end of the day, she handpicked her. So they've been doing a really good job of this feud, even though like Layla Duke got taken out with injury. I do feel like she was supposed to be a part of this story, but ultimately she's been out with injury. So Natty won the first matchup between the two, and then Jada Parker defeated her on an NXT show where Thea Hill threw the towel in. So this is the rubber matchup, and more than likely, I would say 99% chance this is the last matchup between Natty and Jada Parker. This is going to be a submission match, which most would think would favor Natty because she is a submission specialist, but we will see. Ultimately, like I said, a lot of people, I'm sure people are pissed that Grayson Waller won, coming from the main roster. Zilla was never winning. It just didn't make any sense, especially if he's getting called up. And then you got Natty down there at NXT. People don't really like that, but I would rather them be down somewhere else doing some sort of work instead of getting released or not doing anything on the main roster. And Natty's just elevating talent, so I'm all for that. So let's get to the match. Natty is coming to the ring by Karen Petrick and the WWE Women's Evolved Champion, Nikita Lyons. And obviously we will see Thea Hill get involved in this match as well. So the match kicks off. Natty attacked Jada Parker from the start. Jada Parker followed her outside. They brought up the entrance ramp. Natty sent Jada Parker into the ring apron and through the barricade before Jada Parker fought back. Back in the ring, they traded strikes and submission attempts. Natty hit a discus clothesline and looked for the sharpshooter. The Jada Parker countered into an abdominal stretch. Karen Petrick distracted the referee. She got up on the ring apron, distracting the referee. While I don't know why I wrote her name down. I took not the right name. Nikita Lyons pulled Jada Parker down. But then Los Perros Del Mal, the faction that Karen Petrick is basically the leader of AAA, appeared at the top of the ramp. Karen Petrick just walks away from Nikita Lyons and from Natty and goes to the top of the ramp with her group from AAA. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really know why they put this angle into this match. Unless they're just, because this is the end of the feud, they're getting Carmen away from this. I know Kyle's a big fan of Carmen. I think she's awesome as well. Jada could be. I definitely think this is more likely that Jada is the next challenger for Zarya because she's a baby face. I think we talked about that too today. I definitely think that. So I'm gonna say I don't really like what they did here by having Carmen go with Los Perros de Mal. But she's getting more TV time and more storyline, and she's in a big faction on AAA on NXT that she's just not gonna get that. It's just very very top heavy with the women's division on NXT. I don't see her winning any titles on that roster, so it makes a little sense from a storyline perspective. But why that happened in the middle of this match, I don't understand. But so she goes up to the ramp with her faction from AAA, Los Perros de Mal, and Nikita Lyons cannot figure out why and what's going on. Carmen has left the ringside to leave with Los Perros de Mal. Jada Parker then takes control after a hip attack and hits a ring to Saturn. She goes for a ring. She hits a ring to Saturn on Natty. Then Natty fights back with the ankle lock, and she puts Jada Parker in a sharpshooter. But Jada Parker reached the ropes after Natty had applied a lot of pressure on Jada Parker. But Jada Parker was able to reach the ropes and escape the ring. So then Nikita Lyons super kicked Jada Parker, and that led to Thea Hale, who has been a part of this story for the last few weeks. And I didn't expect anything less from seeing Thea Hale also come to the aid of Jada Parker in this match. She ran out to chase Nikita Lyons away, and then Jada Parker then attacked Natalia's knee, and she locked in the sharpshooter of her own. Natty looked like she was about to get to the bottom rope to escape the sharpshooter, but Jada Parker regained full control of the sharpshooter, and she dragged Natty to the center of the ring, and Natty eventually tapped out to the sharpshooter, which is Natty's signature finisher move. So Jada Parker beats Natty at her own game, and I think that's ultimately the way this story was meant to be told. Was Natty wanted Jada Parker to be at her best, and she beat Natty with her own move. So Jada Parker defeats Natty with the sharpshooter, and hopefully this story has come to an end. And like Kyle just said, I definitely could see Jada Parker being next in line, maybe even to challenge Kalani Jordan. I don't know if she beats Kalani, because I do think that Kendall's probably going to take a little bit of time off, because I do really think there may be something wrong with Kendall's ear for them to take the top. But maybe not. I don't know. Like I said, it could be just they wanted to give Kalani a title reign because her heel character is killing it in NXT right now. So it was definitely the right call. So Kingpin thinks that it's going to be Natty versus Layla. That's possible. I don't see Natty doing anything else on the main roster. She seems pretty locked in. It was reported, I think it was Fightful, that AJ Styles was actually the one that produced the main event with Grayson Waller and Scylla and Cruz Montana and Tony D. Tony D had a very long title run too, so hats off to him. He did really great with that title. At that time when he won the title, there wasn't really too many big names on there, but AJ Styles had his fingerprints all over that main event, which it was a phenomenal main event. Natty versus Layla could be the next matchup for Natty and for Layla when Layla comes back. Because like I said, Natty's full purpose in NXT isn't to win championships. It's to elevate stars that she sees that is going to be able to excel and to be able to move to that next level on the main roster. Layla Diggs is definitely one of them. I don't think Layla's as far along as Jada Parker, so I definitely could see that Kingpin for sure. So, Grayson Waller getting caught up again to feud with Theory after the Vision ends and turn Theory babyface permanently. You could do that. You could do that. I'm going to be honest with you, and this is a long time away, but don't be surprised if we don't get CM Punk defending the Undisputed Championship against Grayson Waller at WrestlePalooza. I'm just going to throw that out there right now. I know it's a long way away, but I know it has been discussed internally. Grayson Waller probably won't be NXT champion by December. I can't see it, especially with Cruz Montana, Tony D, and Zilla on the well, I don't think Zilla's going to win the NXT championship, but Cruz Montana is probably next in line. I feel like Cruz is probably going to be the one to take the title off of Grayson. And I definitely could see, because Grayson from Australia as well, so Grayson, CM Punk probably, in my opinion, at WrestlePalooza and in Australia. Maybe they do Bronson Reed and Obafemi there. Rhea and maybe Chelsea. I don't know. I don't want to get any spoilers. Obviously, I know what happens on Raw and SmackDown. I have to cover those shows this week, so we're not going to talk about that. We're going to move to, in my opinion, the best matchup of the night, the one I was definitely looking forward to the most. It is for the WWE Women's NXT Championship. Kendall Gray still coming out there with that thing on her ear. They've definitely been playing up this ear injury this entire time during the feud. So I knew ultimately towards the end, especially as I tell you guys on every single show and on Scoop, WWE rarely goes away from their pattern. It's definitely wrestling one-on-one. If somebody stands tall, the show before the PLE or the night before the PLE, they ain't winning. Now, has it happened? Of course, but 9 times out of 10, if they stand tall before the PLE, they're not going to win at the PLE. And Ren and Kendall stood tall, and both of them lost. So it's wrestling one-on-one, people. So Kendall Gray versus Kalani Jordan for the Women's NXT Championship, the one title that has eluded Kalani Jordan. In my opinion, definitely the best match of the night. Kalani Jordan got her NXT Championship match after repeatedly complaining about being overlooked. Kendall Gray finally got tired of it and handed Kalani Jordan the contract on NXT in her promo segment. So let's get to the match. And this was an absolute banger. The match started off with both women trading control of the match. Kalani then knocked Kendall Gray outside with a drop kick, followed up with the moonsault off of the top rope. The side moonsault. So this was the one move that Kalani hit that she didn't get full impact on, but everything else she did aerial was phenomenal. She missed by just a tad, but that's okay. I mean, nobody's perfect. So, she hit that outside moonsault off the top rope on Kendall Gray on the outside. Kendall Gray back in the ring, answered with an uppercut, took Kalani Jordan back. I'm sorry, still on the outside. Kendall answered with an uppercut, took Kalani back into the ring, where they began to trade arm drags, head scissors, and a double clothesline, and then both women did a double kip up. So, like I said, these two are NXT women's wrestling soulmates. Every single time they have a match, it is a absolute banger. Their chemistry is out of this world. I honestly can't think of too many people, even on the main roster, that have the chemistry that Kendall and Kalani have. So Kendall Gray then landed a gut wrench takedown and a drop kick, but Kalani Jordan immediately went after Kendall Gray's injured ear. Kalani then hit a DDT through the ropes, followed by repeated elbows and strike to the ear. She added a knee drop to Kendall Gray's head and a shoulder breaker for only a count of 2. Kendall Gray eventually fought back with the moonsault and began throwing harder strikes. She hit a suplex, and then she dropped the strap on her wrestling gear, just like Kurt Angle used to do. Kind of signature of letting everybody know that she's listening to try to put her opponent away. She landed a pair of overhead throws. Kalani Jordan then countered, though, with the DDT into a Northern Light suplex, and then ripped the bandage from Kendall Gray's ear and then began attacking Kendall Gray's ear. So that injured ear that had been taped up and had the bandage on it was Kalani Jordan took full advantage of that by taking that Band-Aid and the thing off of her ear. Kendall Gray then caught Kalani Jordan with the power slam and later escaped. So then Kalani goes up top for and she got a lot of hang time with this 450 splash, but Kendall Gray moved out of the way. She rolled Kalani Jordan into an ankle lock. So that is one of Kendall's finishers, the Kurt Angle ankle lock. But Kalani Jordan shoved her into the corner. Kendall Gray climbed to the top, only for Kalani Jordan to knock her off of the ring post and send her head first through the announce table. And you can hear the fans throughout this entire match saying, "This is awesome." So then Kalani Jordan then brought Kendall Gray back inside, and she delivered her finisher. She hit a split-legged moonsault. But then Kendall Gray rolled outside and looked unsteady. But Kalani Jordan kept targeting her, repeatedly slamming her head into the announce table and turnbuckles. Kalani Jordan stood on Kendall Gray's head in the corner, landed another knee drop, and continued punching her injured ear. Let's see, Kyle had a comment. Kendall and Kalani chemistry is so good it reminds me of Becky and Sasha chemistry. Ring, it is. It's unmatched. They are NXT soulmates as far as their ring chemistry. So Kalani then continues to go after the damaged, injured ear of Kendall. Kendall Gray fought off a superplex and hit a reverse Spanish fly, which was an incredible move by Kendall Gray. A lot of air time, hang time, but she also took the brunt of that Spanish fly as well. Kalani Jordan, once she got back on her feet, she answered with a cutter on the apron and a springboard forearm. But Kendall Gray escaped a powerbomb and landed a gut wrench knee for a count of 2. They then traded more counters until Kendall Gray caught Kalani Jordan in another ankle lock, second time. So Kendall had kicked out of the 450 splash, which Kalani just could not believe. So this was the second ankle lock that Kendall had applied. Kalani Jordan escaped. She super kicked Kendall Gray, and then she landed a 450 splash, but Kendall Gray kicked out. And then Kendall Gray hits her finisher, the Shades of Gray, out of nowhere, but Kalani Jordan kicked out at 2.75. When Kalani kicked out of this, I knew for 100% back, which I had a pretty good inkling before the match that Kalani would win it. But when she kicked out at 2.75 of the Shades of Gray, I knew that Kalani would win it. So then Kendall Gray immediately locked in another ankle lock, only for Kalani Jordan to escape by stomping on the injured ear of Kendall Gray. But then Kalani Jordan goes up top for another moonsault. She missed it, but she quickly recovered after Kendall Gray threw a back elbow. Kalani Jordan then sent Kendall Gray headfirst into the exposed steel ring post and followed it up with another quick split-legged moonsault off of the middle and top rope, and went for the pinfall for the 1, 2, 3. And the winner and your new women's NXT champion is, for the first time on NXT, she wins the NXT Women's Champion, Kalani Jordan. And I seen Carmelo Hayes tweet about 20 minutes ago. One shot she did not miss. So congratulations to Kalani Jordan, Kendall Gray as well. Hopefully she's not too bad hurt and she takes a little bit of time off to get healed up, where we can see Kendall and Kalani again, probably more than likely at Halloween Havoc, where, in my opinion, I believe Kendall wins the title back. But congratulations to Kalani. She does get her women's NXT Championship run. Look forward to see what happens next with maybe Kendall being off TV for a little while. Robert Stone in the back, which I put in the chat as well way earlier. He announced that the next NXT PLE is going to be Halloween Havoc, and it would take place on Halloween, October the 31st. That's 2 months from now. I love the way NXT does that. Gives plenty of time to prepare and plenty of time to tell stories, and you don't have to rush matches. With WWE, we only have 4 matches right now for Sunday Night's Main Event. That's why I don't like that. So we're going to go to match number 5. It is for the WWE NXT North American Championship. Miles Bourne will be defending after just losing the tag title with Tavion Heights. He's going to be defending against the leader of Vanity Project, Jackson Drake. Will Miles Bourne leave Texas with 0 titles when he walked in with 2? Jackson Drake is coming to the ring by the new tag team champions, Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes, and also Mika Lockwood, but Tavion Heights is also out there as well for assistant for Miles Bourne. So Miles Bourne came into the match already hurt after taking a beating earlier in the tag team match. Jackson Drake immediately targeted Miles Bourne's back and ribs, looking to take advantage of the damage. Miles Bourne stopped Jackson Drake's early attack, clotheslined him over the top rope. Both men crashed to the floor. Jackson Drake then sent Miles Bourne's head into the steel steps and tried to suplex on the floor, but Miles Bourne countered and suplexed Jackson Drake instead. Tavion Heights was not out there, and that's my fault. He did come out to watch Miles Bourne's back. Jackson Drake still kept in control, hitting a drop kick, several running knees after throwing Miles Bourne back inside. He focused on the ribs and back that had already been weakened by Ricky Smokes and Brad Baylor earlier in the night. Miles Bourne fought back with a high drop kick, a DDT, and a power slam. But every move appeared to take more out of him. He nearly won the contest, though, after hitting 2 power bombs. Jackson Drake kicked out at 2.5. Mika Lockwood with a crazy move on the outside. I don't know what that was, but it was crazy good. So Jackson Drake goes up top rope. He missed the 450 splash, but quickly recovered with a gutbuster for another pinfall, but Miles Bourne kicked out at 2. Then Miles Bourne knocked Jackson Drake off the top rope with the drop kick and later dove onto him outside the ring. So a high aerial assault from Miles Bourne after already wrestling 1 match. Incredible. Miles Bourne also dropped Ricky Smoke, but when he turned around, Mika Lockwood hit him with some sort of reverse gut wrench type power slam, showing her strength on the outside. While the referee was distracted, Tavion Heights took care of Ricky Smoke and Brad Baylor, but the damage had already been done. Jackson Drake then came outside and threw Miles Bourne back into the ring, climbed up to the top rope, to the very top rope, and landed the 450 splash for the 1, 2, 3. And your winner and your new NXT North American champion is Jackson Drake. So the Vanity Project left with all of the gold in Texas. So before we get to the main event, we'll kind of go through the title changes and everything. Um, so in the first match, Zarya was victorious, becoming the unified NXT Women's North American Championship, and also the Speed Championship by defeating by hitting the F5 and the spear to Kelly Armstrong and pinning her. And then in the second match, Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes defeated Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights for the NXT Tag Team Championship. So that was the first title change. And we had Jada Parker defeat Natty with the sharpshooter by submission. Match number 4. We had another title change where Kalani Jordan won the Women's NXT Championship from Kendall Gray. And then match number 5, we had another title change. So it was 4 title changes tonight. We had Jackson Drake pin Miles Bourne with the 450 splash for the 1, 2, 3 as he became the new men's NXT North American Championship. So after the match was over, though, obviously Tavion Heights got into the ring to try to console Miles Bourne, but then Miles Bourne hits Tavion Heights with the Bourne again, and then the crowd, he starts walking up the ramp, and you could just tell that he immediately changed character. And Miles Bourne has turned heel, and the crowd was definitely letting him hear it in Texas. So Miles Bourne was the one with the turn, and he turned on Tavion Heights. So look for a Tavion Miles Bourne feud into the future. He walked out as soon as he hit him with the Bourne again. So we'll see. So then we got a promo in the back from Cam Hendricks. He called out Mason Rook. Cam Hendricks said Mason Rook is just an everyman while he is a star. He accused Mason Rook of trying to end his career, but said he bounced back stronger. Cam Hendricks promised to beat Mason Rook on Tuesday and to begin his climb to the top. To Mason Rook and Cam Hendricks will go one-on-one Tuesday on NXT television. And if you don't know who Cam Hendricks is, he's obviously married to Mason Rook. So we are an hour in, perfect timing. We're going to go to the main event of the evening, and it is for the NXT Men's Championship. Tony D'Angelo, I knew going in, was going to have a difficult time retaining here. Anytime you're in a fatal 4-way as a champion. And I just want to say, Miles Bourne, I know he was champion for anywhere from 4 to 6 months. So definitely a very nice and long, lengthy reign for Miles Bourne as the NXT North American champion. And I also know that Tony D has been the NXT Men's champion for a while. So we're going to get Tony D defending the title against Cruz Montana, Grayson Waller, and the newly acquired Zilla Fatu, the main one. The NXT Championship had a 4-way open with Grayson Waller immediately going after Tony D, while Cruz Montana and Zilla Fatu battled in the corner. Zilla Fatu fought off Grayson Waller and Cruz Montana before Tony D'Angelo returned to hit a spine buster. The action quickly spilled outside, with Cruz Montana diving over the top rope onto all of them, taking out his entire competition. And then Tony back in the ring, Tony D and Zilla Fatu brawled around ringside, while Cruz Montana and Grayson Waller traded control in the ring. Grayson Waller then hit a neckbreaker on Cruz Montana, kept knocking the other challengers off the apron. Zilla Fatu and Tony D later went face to face, trading shoulder block before Tony D'Angelo took control with a clothesline. Tony D'Angelo then hit exploder suplexes on both Zilla Fatu and Cruz Montana as the match continued to break down. There's no disqualification in this match, folks. It's a fatal 4-way. Grayson Waller then stopped Zilla Patu from winning. So Zilla Patu goes for the Samoan spike. And as the referee is counting to 3, Grayson Waller pulls the referee out of the ring, stopping count and preventing Zilla Patu from becoming the NXT champion. Sorry. Zilla Patu then cleared the announce table and tried to put Grayson Waller through it. But Grayson Waller escaped. Then Cruz Montana laid out Zilla Patu on the table. And they were talking about how Grayson Waller tried this before in NXT, from jumping off the top rope and trying to crash somebody through the table. But he was second guessing himself, but ultimately he did it. He up to the top rope. He slipped the first time, but then he regained his balance, got up to the top rope, and landed a monster elbow drop to the table, taking out Zilla Patu. And also acting like that he maybe tore something in his knee in the process. But back in the ring, we had Tony D'Angelo and Cruz Montana. They were both trading big shots. Tony D then hit a German suplex and a spear, but Cruz Montana answered with the spin the block, that which is his finisher. And before Cruz Montana could cover Tony D, Grayson Waller hit the stunner on Cruz Montana and threw him outside the ring, and he covered Tony D'Angelo with a 1, 2, 3. And your winner, and in my opinion, the biggest underdog and upset of the night, Grayson Waller, has become the new men's NXT champion by defeating Tony D'Angelo, Cruz Montana, and Zilla Patu. So that is it, guys. That is the 6 matches. We'll go to the winners again, and then we will be getting out of here. I have a fantasy draft for 45 minutes. I got to get prepared for it. So, in the opening match, Zarya defeated Callie Armstrong and Ren Sinclair by Zarya hitting Ren Sinclair. By Zarya hitting Callie Armstrong with the F5 and the spear. As I said, I really felt like I love Ren Sinclair, but she kind of stuck out like a sore thumb in this matchup. It'd be interesting to see where everybody moves forward. Yeah, the main one will get us title. I don't know, man. I think he's going up to the main roster. They could give him a short run, but I think the fans will be a little bit more upset with that. I definitely could see Zilla being part of War Games, because once you see Raw tomorrow night, you'll see that this War Games is looking like it's going to be. I believe they call themselves the 946 or the 964 with Royce and OTM. I think Ren or Kendall will turn on the other neck. I believe it's going to be Ren. I believe Ren turned on Kendall. I've been kind of talking about that on Scoot for a couple of weeks now. But Zarya gets the big win. Once again, she is the only, or not the only, but she is the first woman on the NXT roster to now both hold the Women's NXT North American Championship and the Women's NXT Speed Championship at the same time. The last person to do it was her bestie from the Resty, somebody she feuded with, someone she beat before she went to the main roster, and that is Sol Ruka. As I mentioned over a month ago, Jody is definitely, and NXT is definitely trying to have Zarya follow in Sol Ruka's footsteps. In the second matchup, we saw Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes regain the NXT Tag Team Championship by pinning Miles Bourne. So Miles Bourne was pinned twice tonight. So the Vandy Project regained the NXT Tag Team Championships in the second match. In the third match, Jada Parker, Carmen Petra left Natty and Nikita Lyons out to dry when she went back up to the and joined Los Perros del Mal at the top of the ramp. Just completely eliminated her from the storyline. And Jada Parker defeated Natty with the sharpshooter. In the best matchup of the night, As I said, these two have the best, most amazing chemistry. Kalani Jordan with the split-legged moonsault after throwing Kendall Gray's ear first into the exposed steel top turnbuckle, pinned Kendall Gray and won her first NXT Women's Championship. So congratulations to Kalani Jordan. In the fifth match, we saw Jackson Drake, another member and also someone that held the WWE Men's Evolve Championship for over 300 plus days, defeat Miles Bourne to become the new NXT North American champion. And then after the match, we saw Miles Bourne hit the Bourne again on Tavion Heights to turn heel. So we will have a heel Miles Bourne moving forward, at least for a while. So that kind of lets me know he's probably not going after the NXT Championship anytime soon until it goes back on the babyface. So they're going to run him as a heel character. And then in the main event, Tony D'Angelo, one hell of a title reign. Congrats to him. I think he still hangs around NXT for a little while longer. I don't think he doesn't really need to be called up because what are they going to do with him? But he defended against Zilla Patu, who had an amazing showing. The fans were definitely behind Zilla in Texas. There was Zilla Patu chants everywhere. Rock even shouted at the final boss. The final boss. Even shouted him out on Instagram. Cruz Montana, who was a stud, absolute great title reign as the men's TNA champion, and also Tony D. But Grayson Waller shocked the world by defeating Tony D'Angelo, Cruz Montana, and Zilla Patu. Cruz Montana hit the spin the block on Tony D, which he's beaten many people with the spin the block. But Grayson Waller took full advantage, is what you're supposed to do in a fatal four-way. And he threw Cruz Montana, or hit him with the stunner, and then threw him outside the ring and covered Tony D'Angelo with a 1, 2, 3. And we have a new men's NXT champion moving on to. Can't wait to see what happens on NXT Tuesday. Grayson Waller as your new men's NXT champion. So once again, guys, I appreciate you guys. Like I said, you guys have absolutely killed it this week. Over 150 views on YouTube, close to 200 on DW television, and close to 100 on my X page, which is almost 500 views for the tape SmackDown. So thank you guys so much for that. And then for the first time on Big Brother, had over 100 plus views on YouTube, over 200 views on DW television, and about 160 views on my X page, which my X page usually doesn't generate a lot of views, but that is also close to 500 views for Big Brother. So thank you guys so much. I don't know what we're looking at tonight. I do know that we have 140 people watching, so anything over 100 is always a good sign. And I do apologize that I had to go live 2 hours earlier, but I have a fantasy draft. The rest of them are next weekend, and then the Monday afterwards. So this is my only one tonight. Then I got to catch up on Big Brother, so I have a lot to do tonight. Moving forward into tomorrow. The last announcement I have are two. So Sunday Night Scoops will not be back next Sunday as well. It will be the Sunday Night Main Event recap show, which I'll kind of go through my schedule with you guys at the end of the show. But it's going to be more of a Sunday Night Scoop because we did reach 17 likes on the last Scoop show. So 2 different people will win a 1 month into the exclusive news channel on that episode. But it's also going to be my birthday episode. So I want as many people in here as possible that can come in here. I will put out some news, give away 2 memberships, and then we're just gonna kind of cut it up for a while. It's my birthday, so you guys are the Twitter community, YouTube community have become a second family. So I definitely want to be able to. I will celebrate with everybody else earlier on that day, but when I go live, definitely want to have my friends from the Twitter community and the YouTube community on. And obviously, anybody that wants to come on from the DWE family as well, come on and celebrate my birthday with me for Sunday Night Scoops. So, good show, man. Can't wait to talk the women's matches with you Wednesday. Yeah, looking forward to that, Kyle, 100%. Going to be a lot to talk about moving forward as we move toward Money in the Bank, because we will start having Money in the Bank qualifiers, not this coming up Monday, but the next Monday. Money in the Bank qualifiers will start. So, a lot to talk about. We're going to have a whole lot to talk about over the next 2 months on the women's side. Make sure you guys give Kyle a follow on X. I can't see X comments anymore, which I wish they would change that. It's on YouTube. Last announcement. A lot of you guys have asked. I put a poll up on YouTube and also on Twitter. Didn't get very many responses on Twitter because Twitter is kind of dumb sometimes with polls, but I got way more responses on YouTube. So Big Brother season 28 will end October 1st. So after that, well, before that, the winner of the poll and what I will be doing next, I will be revealing now. I will be doing Survivor season 51. So here's the catch with that. Survivor will start September 23rd, and Big Brother will end October 1st. So Survivor premiere is Wednesday the 23rd. So what we'll do is on the 24th, which is the next to last episode of Big Brother, that will be a double episode for Survivor and for Big Brother. It's going to be long, so brace yourself. Or I may do Kyle's show on Wednesday and then do Survivor after Kyle's show. That's probably more than likely what I'm going to do, because that's the premiere night. That way I'm not double clogging. So Survivor will start up on Wednesdays. I don't know what I'll do on prediction night. Maybe I'm gonna have to do 3 shows on prediction night. We'll see, but I can always move Survivor to Thursdays once Big Brother's over, so that I can free up. Obviously, Kyle shows top priority, but then I also have to leave room for prediction shows for PLEs. So starting Wednesday, September 23rd, after Kyle's show, I will be doing Survivor season 51. The week one, not the week one, but the episode 1 recap, and just kind of get through everything that happened on the premiere, and obviously give you guys the full cast. Everything we did for Big Brother. Go over the entire cast, what they did for the immunity challenges, if anybody went to tribal council, and if there was anybody voted out. So Survivor 51 will be it's a weekly show, so I'm gonna call it a weekly recap. So it's different than Big Brother. It's only 1 show a week, so one person will be voted out every week. So we're gonna start that September 23rd. And then once Big Brother ends, it will move to the Thursday time slot, where we will be recapping Survivor season 51, which I'm super excited about. So that is the big announcement to have. Thank you once again to everybody that tuned in to the WWE Nxt Heatwave recap show. Shout out to Kyle the Man Anthony. I will see you Wednesday for Queens of WWE episode number 12. Shout out to Kingpin. I will see you a lot, and I'll see you also in 30 minutes for the fantasy football draft. So we are live on my YouTube channel, also on my X page, and also on DW Television X. The schedule has been released on the DW Television page. Comment on X page. Sorry, take that off. Make sure you follow the DW Television X page and also the DW Family Media page. Everyone affiliated with DW Television. Originally, Tuesday was supposed to be the start date for the EVP Miami NFL Season 2 recap show, but me and him were both confused on when NFL season actually started. That's why I moved a lot of my fantasy drafts to next week, because the season doesn't start till September 9th. So I hate doing drafts early, because then somebody gets hurt, you're screwed. I know there's no more preseason games, but anyways, so starting off with Miami the Great, this Tuesday, instead of me and him opening up NFL, we will be starting that on Tuesday, September the 8th. So you guys make sure to stay tuned for that. But you can catch him, Miami the Great, at Miami the Great 305. You can catch him on Tuesdays and Thursdays of this week with Inside the NFL Mind on DW Television, on Talk It Up Podcast on YouTube, also on DW TV, DW Television, on Twitch. And on Saturday, you can catch him. I'm almost all the way completely finished with the episode from yesterday of DW Radio. I think I have like 20 minutes left. Miami the Great and the CFO and the HR of DWE, Boss Baby with 2 B's. Make sure you follow her on X, as they do. It seems like they are streaming live to her X page as well for DW Radio. So every Saturday, unless there's a PLE, you can tune in to DW Radio on the DW Television page, Talk It Up Podcast, Final Boss Baby X page, DW TV, DW Television on Twitch, also on Spotify. Make sure you follow The World of Greg and Kyle the Man Anthony. You can catch them tomorrow. I know that Raw is taped this week and SmackDown is taped Friday, but I'm still going live at the same time. I may go live an hour early. We'll see. It just depends on when I watch Raw tomorrow. I have a busy day tomorrow. So whenever I get a chance to go live, or whenever I get a chance, I already know what happens on Raw anyway. Bold and the Beautiful is Thursday at 3 p.m. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. Appreciate the Bold and Beyond. Sorry. Yeah. So Kyle the Man Anthony and World of Greg tomorrow. I'm not quite sure on the time, but they will be live an hour before Raw goes live. And they will run down the entire Raw card for you on the rundown. So make sure you guys tune in to that on DW Television. Also, Kyle the Man Anthony, speaking of him, on Wednesdays. You can catch him on Mondays with The World of Greg, on the rundown on Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, he is the host. I am the co-host. You can catch us every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. This coming up Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern for Queens of WWE, episode number 12. And starting this Thursday, Kyle the Man Anthony and Director Reg will be starting a new show. It is a mixture of Bold, the soap opera Bold and the Beautiful, and Beyond the Gates, that will be starting this Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you guys tune in to that as well and follow Director Reg. Also, After Slam Podcast on X, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and the Smoke Section Podcast and Sports Channel Network, and everyone affiliated with Gimmick Table Media. Thanks again for tuning in to your NXT recap. Sunday, August 30th, 2026. I'll be back shortly. Tell you guys where you can find me on my social. Okay, the rundown. So the rundown tomorrow is going to be at 7 p.m. tomorrow. So plan for me. The rundown at 7 p.m. Is that Eastern time? I'm on Eastern time zone right now, Kyle. So is that 7 p.m. Eastern your time or 7 p.m. Central? I'm taking it at 7 p.m. Eastern. So I will either be going live at 10 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night for Raw, or 11 p.m. Eastern. We'll see. It's gonna, or maybe 10:30. Just whenever you see me go live, I go live. It won't be before 10 though. At the rundown tomorrow with Kyle the World of Greg will be at 7 p.m. tomorrow. So make sure you guys lock into that. I'll be back shortly, guys, to tell you guys where you can find me on my social media platform, what I have coming up for you guys for this week.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
There are a lot of podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps, Predictions, Sports, let go, show recaps, predictions, sports
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps, Predictions, Sports, let go.
Once again, thank you everybody that tuned in to the Nxt Heatwave recap show live here on the EVP Show Sunday, August 30th, 2026. We had an absolute banger PLE with 4 title changes. As far as where you can find me on my social media platform is scrolling across the bottom of the screen. All my links are in my bio. We are at, last time I checked, I was either at 326 or 327 subscribers, so we're 73 away from 400, which is the ultimate, not the ultimate goal, but the goal by Survivor Series, where there will be another giveaway. But on X, you can find me at EVPCJP, and my YouTube is at the top. So if you are subscribed to me and you follow me on X, just hit that retweet button, send it to your friends and family. If you enjoy the wrestling content, I'm sure they will too. Help me get to 400. That's the ultimate goal. We're all here to help others. On Instagram, it is a business account, but you can find my YouTube in my bio. You can find me at EVPCJP, where you'll find all my upcoming videos, my upcoming streams made by Miami the Great. The Raw videos are already up for tomorrow, which you can find. And then tomorrow you'll be able to see my NXT video for Tuesday. So make sure you follow me there. TikTok at Brady the Goat 21. That's at BRADY Goat 21. It is a business account, but my YouTube is in my bio, where you can also see all the upcoming videos made by Miami the Great for my upcoming stream. Last but not least, most importantly, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. We are getting really close to 400 subscribers, guys. You guys killed it before SummerSlam. It helped me get to 300. Let's help me get to 400 subscribers before Survivor Series in November. If you cannot find my YouTube channel on any of my social media platforms, just go to the search bar and type in at the EVP Show. Over 1,100 live videos, over 500 YouTube shorts, and a couple of pre-recorded videos. There also is some new YouTube shorts that I have put out for from the NXT Heatwave prediction show, and I will make some more that's coming up Wednesday for the Sunday night's main event prediction show. So make sure you guys check that out. If you are subscribed, turn that notification bell on and come and join me for my daily wrestling content. So what I have coming up next for you guys tomorrow night, Raw is taped, but I will be live sometime between 10 and 11 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow night for your Raw recap show. And then what's the aftermath of NXT Heatwave? Come and join me Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern time for your NXT NXT recap show. And then Wednesday, I'm back again, and I'm joined by 9 others. Join us, turn the notification bell, and join us at 6 p.m. Eastern time Wednesday for the Sunday night. Hopefully we get some more matches. We only have 4. The Sunday night's main event prediction show, which will be coming up Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Following that, catch Kyler Man Anthony and myself at 8 p.m. Eastern for Queens of WWE episode number 12. Thursday, as Kyle said, make sure you tune in to Kyle and Director Red for Bold and Beyond at 3 p.m. Eastern Thursday, and then come back and join me in what has been an absolutely insane week, which I haven't even watched yet. I'll have to watch after the fantasy draft and get caught all the way up. Join me Thursday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, as 2 more people are going to be leaving the Big Brother house. One has already left, and one will be leaving Thursday night. Join me at Thursday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time for the Big Brother Season 28 Week 8 recap show. Friday night, SmackDown is also taped, but join me at 10:30 p.m. Eastern time for the SmackDown recap show. And then Saturday, I'm off, and then come back next Sunday, not for scoops, but come back after Sunday night's main event is off the air, and join me Sunday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern time for your Sunday night's main event recap show, where I will recap each and every match, everything that goes down at Sunday night's main event. It is my schedule for the rest of the week. A shout out to the 145 people that we have watching live here on the EVP show, on DW Television, on X, or on my X page, as we have covered the NXT Heatwave recap show. That being said, guys, thank you once again for tuning in for the Nxt Heatwave Recap Show, Sunday, August 30th, 2026. I am the EVP from the EVP Show and the Golden Boy of DWE, and DWE is the only place to be. Hopefully, you guys have a great Monday. I know it's a fresh start to a new work week. Lock in and go join Greg, World of Greg, Kyle at 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow for the rundown, and come back and join me at 10:30 or 11 p.m. Eastern for the Raw Recap Show. Good night, everyone.